Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, and today we're gonna be reacting to.
Unpopular K-pop opinions, cause Soyeon Spen struck again.
Ooh, is that positive or negative?
I can't tell,
I don't
but
know.
we'll see.
1. What's Azealia Banks' problem? This American rapper stays beefing with half the industry, constantly running her mouth and saying whatever
Well, she wants attention, you know. Good attention, bad attention, still attention.
the heck she wants. Most recently, she popped off in the comments under a picture of Lisa's Met Gala outfit, saying, and I quote, "I'm sorry, but this is giving ladyboy, a term commonly used in Southeast Asia to refer to transgender women, and it's often laced with transphobia depending on context." But did Azealia stop there? Of course not. She doubled down flat out claiming Lisa is a man and adding, "I'm not walking that comment back." And did Miss
Why
I
did
don't
she
give a
say that?
Oh, really? I don't, why?
Why she
I don't
say
get
that?
it. Because I heard you guys posted on Discord about the ladyboy comment. I honestly thought that was like, because I didn't see the comment, I just saw that you said some about like Azalea calling K-pop idols ladyboys or something like that. So I kind of assumed it's because guys wear makeup. That's what I kind of thought. I didn't know it was about Lisa's outfit. Ain't nothing wrong. Like, I mean, outfit didn't fit the theme. That was wrong. But aside from that, nothing wrong with that outfit.
what end her rampage there? Absolutely not. She went full scorched earth, calling female idols the B word and saying they're all men because according to her there's no other way they'd have that kind of stamina. Like I just can't with the stupidity and superiority complex. Saying this is giving
What?
ladyboy isn't some clever read, it's a region-specific slur weaponized against Southeast Asian trans women. And in this case used to dehumanize a cisgender Southeast Asian woman. And for what? Cause she's Thai? And let's be crystal clear, there is absolutely nothing wrong with being transgender. But suggesting someone is secretly trans like it's a gotcha moment is both transphobic and sinister. Azealia wasn't making a statement on gender diversity. She was using the word ladyboy the same way schoolyard bullies use tranny to insult someone they think looks too strong or too masculine to be a real woman. It's not progressive, it's not punk, it's disgusting. And assigning gender based on stamina or facial structure? Girl, have you ever read a biology book? And then came her proud little stomp of "I'm not walking that comment back." Oh, congratulations, you're standing firm in your ignorance. Want a trophy for it? Dragging all K-pop female idols into this by saying they must be men because of their stamina? First of all, what decade are we in where strength, energy, or work ethic disqualify someone from womanhood? Female idols train for years, bleed
Who's
through
she looking
rehearsals,
for
dance on
attention?
Yeah, she gotta be looking for attention. I don't know. That makes no sense. So what? Like you mean to tell me that all the marathon runners, female marathon runners, are men too? Because they can run for the whole marathon? Come on.
injuries and maintain stage presence that would leave half the male industry panting in a puddle of sweat. But sure Azealia, keep telling on yourself with that internalized misogyny and the most backhanded version of "you can't be pretty and hardworking" we've ever heard. Blinks aren't mad because she used the word ladyboys. They're mad because she used it as a slur. They're mad because she weaponized gender identity as a punchline. If you want to call Lisa out for her scandals, go ahead, but don't stoop to racism and transphobia like it's some
Yeah,
kind of valid
yeah.
critique.
Yeah, you
2.
don't gotta
Idols
do that.
Yeah, there's so much to come at least at 4, but this she I don't know, this is yeah. I don't know.
release Girlfriend was okay. Its attempt at a brash pop rock sound isn't terrible, but it's dragged down by clumsy execution and a clear lack of commitment to its own energy. This is their first release post rebrand. So I get the whole "we're bad girls now and let's drag our exes because you deserve better" angle, but the profanity in the lyrics feels forced. It's not rebellious. It's trying way too hard to be edgy. Lines like "his night is just 5 seconds" flirt with campy fun, but everything else stumbles into cringe theater. The awkward cursing and try-hard bad girl energy feel like the result of a Gen Z marketing committee's idea of rebellion, especially with a line like "we don't care about love because we're freaking idle." It's not provocative, it's pantomime. That said, the song's strongest moments, the melodic pre-chorus and punchier verses, show they actually had something solid in the vault. But the chorus? It sounds like a rejected mashup of 50/50's Cupid and 10 other recycled generic Western tracks. They hyped this rebrand like it was gonna save the genre, only to drop something that sounds like it was built in an algorithm lab. And at barely 2 minutes long, the song doesn't even get a chance to build momentum. It just ends, leaving the whole thing feeling more like a rough demo than a fully realized single. 3. Let's review.
Oh,
So
that was a quick.
I don't think the song was that bad as she described. The song was fine, whatever. I did come for her English lyrics, but you guys on Discord said that she did mean it that way. Like she basically said the song was saying about turning lesbian. That's not G Idol's first time. Well, now Idol's first time about singing about lesbians. So if that's how
Let's be honest then.
if that's how she intended, then that's how we understood it. Because the song gave that if you took it for word, she was basically saying, "Let's turn lesbian, fuck the guys." That's what the song gave. I attributed that to her English, that she didn't know what she was saying. She just expressed it the wrong way. Seems not. Seems she intended to say that way. Then that's on me. So from this point on, I'ma take her word for what it is and not for what I think she's trying to say. So yeah,
Because she speaks English.
she speaks English. She said what she said. Okay, I got it.
View Rosy's new single Messy from the F1 film soundtrack. It reminds me a lot of Love Me Like You Do by Ellie Goulding, but at the same time, it could have easily been tossed onto the deluxe version
Ellie
of Rosy's
Goulding?
debut album.
Yeah, she's a British. Love me.
No, because
like,
I
oh.
think, because remember, you're asking for, oh, no, wait, you were asking back for something else.
No, I did.
Oh.
I said I know what I was
Maybe
asking.
Ellie
Who
Goulding?
she know? I don't.
Remember her song? She does lights. I think something with lights.
I don't know. I heard of just the raspiness of the voice reminded me of someone.
She's explored similar sounds before. The problem is that it feels extra dated here, and her voice
Yeah, I feel honestly it just felt like Toxic till the end part 2.
just gets lost in the mix. The whole track plays like someone shoved every early 2010s tearjerker pop ballad into an AI generator, told it to make it emotional, and then lazily slapped Rosy's name on top like a sad little sticker. Her vocals are way too soft to land and way too thin to carry anything. That signature breathiness of hers, which can work in stripped-down intimate songs, feels weirdly out of place here. She's barely clinging onto the melody while the production goes full dramatic, cinematic strings, pounding drums, over-the-top chord changes, as if trying to distract you from the
The production was good. I like the production.
fact that there's no real emotion underneath it all. It'll probably end up being played during the credits. 4. The Givers won the copyright lawsuit over 50/50's Cupid against Attract. This ruling isn't
The
just about who owns the
Givers
song. It's
One? The Givers? Oh, that's the label or the
I
brand?
think so. Yeah.
a
thought it
masterclass
was like
in how
a-
the
the
Givers
Attra-
outmaneuvered Attract.
Artura.
Attract is the 50/50 label, the new 50/50.
New 50/50.
No.
Oh,
The one
oh.
that is called 50/50. Their
Oh,
label is
okay,
Attract.
Okay.
Now the one we just reacted, A Bloom.
Mm-hmm.
I guess their label is The Givers.
At every turn, legally robbing them of Cupid while Attract CEO fumbled the bag. Here's the timeline. Back in 2022, The Givers, which is a production company, bought Cupid from Swedish songwriters for $9,000. At this point, Attract CEO should have been drafting ironclad contracts to secure ownership. Instead, he handed creative control to The Givers, assuming their partnership meant shared rights. Wrong. The contract explicitly let The Givers keep global licensing rights, a detail Attract either ignored or didn't understand. Fast forward to 2023. Cupid goes viral. 50/50 becomes K-pop Cinderella story, and The Givers start licensing remixes and performances without cutting Attract in. By the time Attract realized they had been played, the trap was already sprung. Here's where it gets messy. The Givers successfully argued that since they negotiated the original purchase, they adapted the song for 50/50 and they handled all licensing paperwork. The rights were theirs by default. The court agreed, ruling that Attract's role as funder and promoter didn't entitle them to ownership. Worse, the judges basically said if you wanted the copyrights, you should have written it into the contract. And that's the kicker, Attract's team never did. No clause required the Givers to transfer rights, no safeguards against self-dealing, just blind trust in a company that was playing 4D chess. And yes, the Givers technically scammed them, but legally it was a clean deal. They exploited a gaping loophole. In K-pop, agencies often outsource song production to third parties like the Givers, assuming ownership flows automatically to the group's company. Not this time. The Givers weaponized their middleman role, securing eternal royalties while Attract got stuck with the bill for training.
Damn.
And marketing 50/50 is like hiring a
Damn.
contractor to build your dream house, only for them to keep
So I understood it differently when you guys said it on Discord. I thought A Bloom won the rights to the song. So how I
It's
understand
not
it,
even-
it's not A Bloom's
even A
song.
Bloom.
It's the song is the song. So but now all the money is gonna go to the people that own the copyright, which is the Givers, which is some sort of middleman. That's very
That's
interesting.
weird.
Very, very, very interesting. I don't know if you encountered anything like that before.
So the middleman, did they wrote the songs? I
Seems
guess.
like they produced it, yeah.
Then I guess it makes sense.
It makes sense, all right, but it's just
But I would
weird.
think
We
that
never dealt with it like that.
the girls will get some sort of a cut.
I don't know. It's
That means they had
interesting.
no rights.
Yeah, it's interesting. This is
Wow.
very interesting.
keep the
You
deed
see what
because you
happens when
forgot
you
to
don't write
specify
your
it in
stuff?
the paperwork. The Givers were shady from the jump, siphoning funds, poaching members. But Attract CEO was too busy to notice. You don't trust a subcontractor with your crown jewel without binding contracts. That's business 101. Dude treated IP rights like a handshake deal between buddies, and now he's crying because the court right
You can't be mad at him for that. Like certain people really believe in the handshake deals. Like there's that old school mentality that handshake deal is your word is your bond. So yeah, league, but you know, back in the day, you get got for that. So if you come from those streets,
I don't know if nowadays people can do handshake deals. Now
No,
people
right.
figure themselves.
yeah, legally, you know, you gotta write it on the paper, but you know, at one point it was the handshake deal was the handshake was the pay legal, well, not legal, but underground legal way of doing things. So you can't just say, oh, he's stupid for not doing that. If he comes from that kind of background, that's what he used to. So, and we remember we watched the video about Yakuza. No, it was your word is your bond. So it,
Or you lose a pinky.
yeah, or you lose a pinky.
Fully told. Him a scammer's signature is still a signature. But let's talk about the fans twisting this ruling into some moral victory for the givers. See, the courts proved they're innocent. Open a law book, you clowns. The givers won because Attract's lawyers were asleep at the wheel, not because they're saints. These are the same snakes who forged
That is true, though. It's the lawyers that should. It's not the CEO. It's the lawyers that should have handled this. It's not CEO's job. He hires the lawyers for that.
Kina's signature. Ghost wrote lawsuits against Attract and dangled better treatment to lure the girls into ditching the agency. But sure, let's throw confetti because a judge rubber stamped their paper trail. And don't get me started on the mistreatment narrative. The givers handled everything. If 50-50 were overworked or mistreated, that's on them as well, not just Attract. Yet fans still parrot the giver's sob story about saving the group, as if he wasn't the one holding the leash. Wake up. The givers didn't want to protect the members, they wanted to own them, just like they owned Cupid. 5. We've got a new 13-year-old debuting. Yup, you heard me right. 13. An upcoming girl group called Kiera's is about to launch, and their label Lean Branding just
Kiera's.
revealed the 6-member lineup. Out of the 6, we've got 2 barely legal adults, 18 and 20, and 4 literal minors. The youngest? 13 years old. Like, look at her, that is a literal baby, and somehow they're throwing her into a group with a 20-year-old and expecting what? Cohesion? Group dynamic?
It's gonna. What's the most important is the concept. If they're giving, you know, kind of what Kiki is doing. The girl in Kiki is young, but with their concept, I'm not mad at it. So really, it's gonna depend on their concept. If that's the
Now,
concept,
if she's doing what Cat's Eye is doing,
yeah, that's where it's a problem. So it's really depends on the concept, because you know, just because you're 13 and if you're really good, I mean, you should be able to make money.
Be so serious, but of course the company has a reputation to keep up, trash standards and all. Remember Eunice's Magne Soyeon? Yeah, the one who debuted at 12. Guess what? She's signed to the same label, and here's the kicker. The auditions for this group were open to trainees between the ages of 6 and 16. I just can't. What also blows my mind is the timing. Why the heck is this group debuting so early? I figured the company would wait until Eunice disbands so Soyeon could bring some attention to Kiera's. That would at least make strategic sense. But then again, Soyeon's doing decently in Eunice, but she's not strong enough to carry a whole group on her back. Maybe they'll toss her in later as a desperation move. Who knows, either way the whole group looks like a kindergarten project. But hey, children are the dream for the idol system. Zero awareness, zero resistance, and fully moldable. Former trainees have said it loud and clear. The younger they are, the more carefree and less likely they are to push back. That doesn't mean they train any less though, and that's exactly what companies groom them to be. 6. Malan's new company just dropped their new profile photos and I'm still taken aback by this rebrand. My biggest skepticism? Do they even have any fans left? After Boom Boom went viral, their sales saw a slight bump, but let's not pretend they ever cracked past 25K. They were a one-hit wonder with the general public, not a solid fandom. The numbers spoke loud and clear.
but
Their
we
sales dipped
see
hard-
and we do a list. Malan holds their own a little
But
bit.
that's that one hit wonder. They have one
Yeah.
song, so she is right in that sense.
Oh wow.
hard with every comeback after Boom Boom and Bomb. Their last single album, Ready or Not, barely scraped 5K. And it's been 3 years since
Ready
Yummy
or
Love.
Not,
Who's still hanging
here I
around?
come.
They're a 9-year-old
You
group,
can
but the
hide.
sad reality is their new company might have to treat them like rookies. Unlike groups like From Is 9 or VVs who had fandoms locked in when switching labels, Mamaland's basically starting from scratch. 7. Let's review P1 Harmony's comeback. The song starts strong with verses that showcase real skill, tight rap delivery, rhythm and a decent beat. It's very old school and fun, but then the chorus hits and it's as if the song gives up, nosediving into lazy chant-driven territory. It doesn't build on anything the verses set up, it just flattens it, sacrificing singable hooks for simplicity. Imagine if they'd pushed further into that vintage hip-hop groove instead of defaulting to empty crowd chants. I don't get why everyone keeps going for this overused formula, but what do I know? P1 Harmony recently had great success in the West, so good for them. And that's all for today, bye.
Bye.
That was very short and quick.
Yeah, P1
Harmony.
Harmony was okay. It wasn't their best work, I feel like, but it wasn't like bad either. Kind of what she said. I'm not. It's okay.
Guys, of course, let us know your thoughts. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Join the Discord, and as always, share as much kindness as possible.